Good morning, all of you. I am Dr. KSR Radhika, working as Associate Professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, SRKR Engineering College, Bhimbaram. Now I am going to discuss the subject Advanced Data Structure. In Advanced Data Structure, now we are going to discuss the topic about the introduction of linked list. The objectives of today's topic is, so now we are going to represent the linked list, and also we are going to represent differentiate between the linked list and arrays, and we are going to know about the various types, operations and applications of linked list, and also we are going to explore advantages and limitations of linked list. Linked list. What is meant by a linked list? Linked list is a collection of elements called nodes. Each node contains two parts, the data and link. So if you see in this example, in the diagram, the data and the next. So here next means the link part. Next means it represents the next node. So each item has a data part which may have one or more data members and a link part that points to the next element. One natural way to implement the link part is using a pointer. The link is the address of the next element in the list. So here, in order to store the address, so we have to use the pointers. So it is a very good sense that treating each element as an object. So once it is treated as an object, so you can take an instance of class, which is called as node. So here a node is used for each object. So an instance of class object is used for node. So linked list is represented by a pointer to the node of the linked list. So the first node is called the head of the linked list. If the linked list is empty, then the value of head is null. So and also after the first node, it may have number of nodes. So after having the number of nodes, at the end you can have the last node. The last node link does not contain any other node after it. So that's why the last node does not point anything. So we can set the link member of the last node to null. So this is the representation of linked list. So in C language, so you can use structure in order to represent a node. So here struct is the structure keyword which is used in order to define structures. So here struct is the struct keyword and node is the name of the object. So here data and next, two elements are given or two members are given in this structure. The data is nothing but the value that you are going to store. So here in this example, if you see, this node contains 10 as data and another part is pointer, that is next. So the next is pointing to an address which is stored in this example as 5001. So here 5001 is the address of the another node, that is the next node. So this is a simple list, linked list example. So in that one we have given the data as a integer data as data, but here we have given ABCD, that is character data as data. So this is a simple linked list example. So we will represent a linked list in this way. So this is the representation of linked list in another different languages, that is in C++, Java and Python. So in C++, generally a class is used to define a node. So here class is the keyword and node is the name of the class, and then here the data members are defined as public. So you can define the data members also as private also. So here also the declaration is same for data, because here it is also of type integer, but here the node is the class name. So here you have to give the class name and then the pointer, that is asterisk next. So this is the definition, node definition that you can give in C++. Similarly, this is the node definition in Java and this is the node definition in Python. So data structure have the flexibility that you can develop the data structures in any language, either C or C++ or Java or Python or etc. So this is how a linked list is represented in memory. So for example, if you take this linked list example, so here the node, the address that is available in the head node is 3200. So here 3200 is the address of the first node of your linked list. Here in this linked list, we have totally 4 nodes. So out of those 4 nodes, the first node address is 3200. So that's why in the header node, you have placed 3200, which is the address of the first node. So the data in the first node is 15. So, and in the link part, you have given an address 3600, which is the address of the second node. So if you see 3600 is the address of the second node. So that's why in the link part of the first node, you have given the address of the second node, that is 3600. And the data part of second node is 3 and the address part of second node is 4000, which is again the address of the third node, that is 4000. So again, in the third node, again the data part is given as 17, that is the data is 17, and the address or the link part, the value given is 4400. This 4400 is again the address of the fourth node. So the fourth node contains again the data of 90, but at the end, that is because this is the last node, so it does not point to any other node after this node. So that's why in the link part we have given the null as null, which indicates that it is the end of the list, that is it is the last node of our linked list. So this is how a linked list is represented. So here mainly the first part contains the data and the second part contains the address of the next node. So and the header node contains the address of the first node and the last node link part contains null, because this is the last node, so there is no other address to store. So that's why the null is saved in this last node link part. So this is how it will be stored in memory. So for example, this is the data of some patient data. So here the bed numbers are given, the patient details are given, and the next is also given. So if you observe at the start, that is that start indicates here the header node. In that one 5 is given. So it is pointing to the 5, that is Adams. So and in the Adams next part, how much is given? 3 is given. So that is, you can see the arrow drawn here. From 3 it is pointing to where? It is pointing to 3. So that is again Dean, another patient. And in the Dean's next part, how much is given? That is link part, 11 is given. So that is, it is again pointing to 11. So 11. So next in the 11 bed number, the next part is 8. 8 means again it is pointing to 8. The patient name is Green. So like this, the linked list is linked in memory also. It is how it will be represented in memory. This is the, that means whenever we are giving the address of the next node, means there is a link between the first node and the next node. So like that, the links are maintained throughout the list between all the nodes. So whenever we are using the linked list, we can perform certain operations on the data that is available in your linked list. So the different basic operations on linked list are creation, insertion, deletion, display, searching, traversing, splitting, concatenation, and some more. So creation means, first of all, in the creation part, you can create the header node. So header node is created means the list is empty. So that's why because we don't have any node, so just we will create a header node and we can say that the list is empty. In the insertion part, you can insert new nodes into the existing list. So or you can start the insertion from right from the first node also. So that means you can do the insertions at the beginning, at the end, at some particular position in order. Like that, we can perform insertions in many ways. Similarly, the deletion also. The deletion means you can delete the node at the beginning, at the ending, or the correct node, like that. Display means you can display all the elements in the list starting from the first node to the last node. Searching means you can search for some particular node in your list. That is like find operation. Traversing means traversing in your list through all the elements in the list. Splitting, if you want to split the list into two different lists or more number of lists, that can also be performed by dividing the lists into two different separate lists. Concatenation means, suppose if you want to add second list at the end of the first list, that is also possible. Like that, you can perform many operations on linked list. Different types of linked list. So we have mainly three different types of linked list: singly linked list, doubly linked list, and circular linked list. Singly linked list means here mainly you will have only one link to the next node. So that means you can perform traversing only in the forward direction. The second one is doubly linked list. That means here you will have two links, one to the next node and another one to the previous node. So that means here the traversing is possible in the forward direction and also in the backward direction. Circular linked list, it can be either singly linked list or also doubly linked list. The meaning of circular linked list is, so generally last node link is assigned as null. But here, instead of assigning it as null, what we will do is the last node next link will be assigned the address of the first node. So that means a loop is created there. So that means the last node link address, we will give the first node address. So that means a loop is created there. So like that, we can also create circular linked list. Applications of linked list. In computer science, so the we are using linked list in many applications. So you can use linked list in order if you want to implement stacks, queues, trees, graphs. You can use linked list for implementation of all these data structures. And also you can represent sparse matrices using linked list. And also you can maintain directories of names using linked list. And also for polynomials, for different operations on polynomials like addition, subtraction, multiplication, all these are very easy using linked list when compared with arrays. So in real world applications also, you are using linked list in many applications like image viewer, previous and next page in web browser, music player in order to get the next song, etc. The advantages of linked list. The main advantage of linked list is the memory allocation is dynamic here. So because of using dynamic memory allocation, whenever how much space required, that much amount of space can be allocated for our application. So this is the main advantage of linked list. We can also release the unused memory space in situation whenever it seems to be not used. So if you feel that memory is being not used, then you can release that memory. And also the operations related to data elements like insertion and deletions are more simplified, and also you can perform these operations in different ways. And also the insertion and deletion operations are less they take less time than when compared with arrays. Linked list also provides flexibility in allowing items to be arranged efficiently. So there are many advantages of linked list when compared with arrays. So many applications are being used or implemented using linked list. Limitations of linked list. Linked list is a little storage more because here an additional link is used for storing the address of the another node, that is the next node. So that's why a little storage space is used for the link. And another limitation of this one is whenever we deal with fixed length lists, so arrays are better than this linked list. That is the only disadvantage of or limitation of linked list. So with this, we have seen all the minimum introduction of linked list. So with this, we can continue with the next topics. Thank you.